The scene still continues to be active, and as you look right behind me, you can see the yellow caution tape is still there, but something new this morning, many people stopped by so they can make a memorial for the 5 people that were killed and the 18 that were injured. Now, if you see the sign, it says love over hate. We got the chance to see them put down flowers all around that sign. Still a very active scene, and it has been for the last few hours. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office is still investigating what led up to the shooting. As you look right behind me, as I mentioned, it is active. The intersection of Meridian Ranch Boulevard and Point Reyes Drive, you still can't go on Point Reyes Drive because it is still blocked off until further notice. The scene's pretty clear now, but last night there were over 60 cars covering up this entire parking lot. Now, one thing police said was that when they arrived on scene, they saw multiple cars doing donuts, and you can see the different tire tracks covering up this entire parking lot. There's multiple tracks here. Now, Car Hills Fire Department tells me that this fire went from burning in a 10 by 10 area to burning an acre and a half in just 3 minutes. You can see the aftermath all around me from this fire that burned last Thursday. Now, firefighters tell me their biggest concern is how fast these fires can burn. It took 7 crews, including Colorado Springs Fire, to put this fire out. Very active scene. It has been when I got here 3 hours ago, and it still is now. There's still multiple police cars that are still here investigating what led up to the shooting. Now, police responded here just before 4 this morning to the shooting, and it's still unclear at this time which business this happened at. Now, right now, firefighters are working to make sure that this car fire is completely put out. You can see them right behind me, just making sure that they're checking. They're actually talking to the family right now just to give them a little bit of an update. Now, you can actually see pieces of the car on the street, and as we got a little closer to the car, you can see that just the front of the car has a little bit of burn marks there. And when I have flowers and balloons covering up the front of the patrol car, and we'll give you a closer look so you can see this memorial. Now, we did see a few people come this morning to show their respects for Officer Becerra. And again, there are candles and flowers and balloons all across this vehicle. Firefighters, officers, and utilities are still here surveilling and monitoring the scene. As you can look right behind me, you can see the leftover debris with extensive burn marks from this fire this morning. Now, firefighters tell us that the cause of the fire is still under investigation, and they also tell us the fire was contained to one area before knocking it out. The fire chief tells me they were working to get this fire contained before the sun went down, but as you can look right behind me, multiple crews are still working to get this fire contained. And I just spoke with the fire chief just to get an update, and he tells me that the fire right now is at 85% contained. It's easy to cover a story like this, and it's especially harder to cover a story where we did have 2 friends that were killed in this shooting. But I can definitely tell you that friends and family from all over are attending the vigil right now, and there are about, let's say, about 200 to 300 people who are here as of right now, who are just listening to the different speakers, who are just sharing their stories and also showing their love and support to those that were killed. Not an easy place to get to. They have to use specialized gear just to get up to the area, but they also have to use it to fight the fire in that area. Now, I completely lost signal when I was getting close to the area. That just shows you how far out that fire is. I had to turn right back around. Now, well, continuing our coverage on the murder trial against a mother accused of killing her stepson, Letitia Stout will be back in court tomorrow. The prosecution is expected to rest their case in the coming days. Our 11 News reporter Melissa Henry has been following the trial since the beginning. This is an 11 breaking news alert. U.S. Marshals located 15 missing kids and cleared more than a dozen warrants during 2 large operations in Pueblo County. I'll be learning more after 2 people were killed in a shooting at an apartment complex in southern Colorado last night. It happened near Old Colorado City at Uinta and Mesa. Start with an update to an 11 breaking news alert. A fire that started inside a local business is now out. Many of you called our newsroom about this. The flames could be seen for at least a mile away from the scene. Police have arrested a suspect after 1 person was killed in a shooting in a southern Colorado town. Police say 37-year-old Pablo Carrero has been arrested after a shooting on Santa Fe Avenue in Pueblo Saturday morning. Well, this is an update to an 11 breaking news alert. We now know the name of the deputy who authorities say shot a suspect, and that suspect is accused of firing his own gun at law enforcement. Here's video of the scene. Continuing our 11 News coverage on fire concerns here in Colorado, all evacuation orders have been lifted in Jefferson County following another wildfire last night. The fire is near Bear Road in the Golden Gate Canyon area. The community is honoring a deputy who died from COVID-19. Deputy Jeffrey Hopkins with the El Paso County Sheriff's Office passed away this weekend back in 2020. As jury selection wraps up, a trial that has gotten national attention is expected to begin. Letitia Stout is accused of killing her stepson Gannon in 2020. 11 News has been following this since the beginning. Well, the man accused of killing his wife and driving her body to the El Paso County Jail to confess will spend 16 years in prison after taking a plea deal. David Mitchell was in court Friday for his sentencing. Well, we have an 11 call for action alert. More than a dozen states, including Colorado, are calling for a federal recall of Hyundai and Kia vehicles because of massive amount of car thefts. Nonstop news continues with this. The trial for a suspect accused in the death of a teen inside a Colorado Springs Walgreens store is now pushed back. Joshua Johnson was in court on Friday. The pretrial readiness conference convened for roughly 20 minutes yesterday afternoon. Now for a story you will only see here on 11 News, a Colorado mom is helping others navigate the headache of drug abuse. Lisa Smith says her son struggled with drugs as a teen. Now she's connecting with other families going through the same fight.
We don't want to come in and just kick people out of what is their home. Even though legally we have to.
More than a dozen people packed their things and are looking for a new place to live. Some walked, others had their home towed away. They can no longer stay on this land between Jantinelle Road and the MLK bypass, according to the El Paso County Sheriff's deputies.
We are near the railway, which is actually a protected area. There's no trespassing on the railway easements. It is in the waterways, and we have to protect our waterways. We have a lot of feces that go down into the waterways when there's homeless camps nearby.
Now, this is just one of several well-established homeless camps here on Las Vegas. As you can see all around me, you can see trash everywhere. Now, as I'm walking right over to this area, I have to be extra cautious because I want to make sure I don't step on anything sharp. And as you're looking right behind me, with this structure that is made of blanket and mattress is actually where 2 people and their 4 dogs are living. Deputies posted eviction notices on trees and unattended vehicles 48 hours in advance. If they stay here, they will be arrested.
If you're here on Monday, you're going to get arrested because you're trespassing. But if they put up any sort of resistance or non-compliance, they refuse to leave, they will most likely get arrested for trespassing.
This area will be monitored at least once a week to make sure homeless camps don't come back. Deputies want to bring back clean stream water and prevent any more homeless camp fires. Reporting in Colorado Springs, Brian Sherrod, KKTV.
You walk into a safe space to have a drink with your friends, and the very next day you're getting news that, you know, he's been shot 9 times and he's not coming home. I mean, that was heartbreak.
Brandon Wolf survived the shooting at Pulse nightclub in Orlando back in June 2016. He lost more than one friend that day.
When I learned that my second friend had passed away, and I wanted to cry, I wanted to scream, I wanted to shout, but nothing came out.
49 people were killed when a gunman opened fire inside of the nightclub. Almost 7 years later, in November of 2022, 5 people were killed in the mass shooting at Club Q.
It was so traumatic and so violent and so painful that I didn't stop crying. I could not physically stop my eyes from crying for several days.
Now Brandon is using his experience to help others. As an advocate for the LGBTQ community, he says he's continuously fighting for civil rights and against gun violence. But Brandon says it starts with feeling your emotions.
There was deep grief, there was deep pain, there was trauma and shock, there was anger, absolutely anger at, a system that had failed us so badly.
Brandon says the best way to help a friend or family member who's experienced traumatic violence is to be there for them. Ask them how they are doing, even if it means sitting in silence until they are ready to talk. And most importantly,
lean on those who have been in similar situations and lean on each other. You don't have to go through this alone.